Alright, what's up guys? Stephen Bogren here from Physique. Today what I wanted to talk about is being an athlete or a physique athlete. So hey, what's up everybody? I know it has been a while since I've done a video and there are definitely some reasons for that. One being prep. It is peak week this week, so hopefully I look decent. If not, well, it doesn't matter. I only care about how I look on stage. It is also the last week of finals for my graduate degree. So with, the general gist of life and work and school coming to a culmination and show day coming up, YouTube just really hadn't been a priority, and I stated that in my last video, so hopefully everybody understands. But as things are coming up to a culmination and we're sort of getting to that point where I have a little bit more free time now, YouTube is definitely back on my radar. And so one of the big things I wanted to talk about this week is something that actually came up this morning. I was talking with a client and they were talking about how they were excited, and I was sort of sharing my feelings about how I'm not really as excited this prep. I've been very excited last, prep and other preps to get on stage and to try and do well. And I think this prep, it's possibly just that I'm a little bit more seasoned in the sport, but I'm not really that excited. You know what I mean? It's just kind of, you just do it. And so I was thinking about why it is that maybe I'm not quite as excited as I used to be. And the big thing that I thought of was that I have to give up a lot of my athleticism, a lot of my strength in terms of dieting and getting ready for a show. And so I think that that's something important for us to understand and to realize as we are getting ready for a show, dieting, and getting to be stage lean, is do we want to be an athlete or do we want to be a physique athlete? So these are two very different things. And as a strength athlete in your off season is I think a good idea, and I think that it can benefit you a lot. However, if we're a cross-country athlete or a track athlete or any kind of endurance athlete, it might not be the best situation in terms of being a successful physique athlete as well. So everything really comes back down to the idea of specificity, right? So when we train, we want to train specifically for our sport. Now, a lot of things we do as physique athletes may not necessarily be the most beneficial in terms of other sports, right? Reason being is we need those things to be a certain way before we start a prep to ensure that we have as successful as a prep as possible. One of the main things being the reverse dieting, right? We want to be eating as much food as we possibly can while maintaining our weight so that we can have that extra room to work with in our diet. Now, that doesn't always mean that we don't have to cut more aggressively or go to a certain point before we see a return on our investment for dieting. Because for a lot of people, either they haven't been in the reverse long enough or for whatever reason, the body just never really adapts in terms of fat loss. And so we might be able to maintain our weight at this higher calorie intake, but when it comes to dieting, we still have to cut down to a certain place. The other big thing, and I think this one is more indicative of having an impact on other sports, is that we don't want to be doing a lot of cardio in our off season. Don't get me wrong, cardio is good, right? There's a certain amount of cardio and physical activity that is good for your cardiovascular health, for things like your lipid profiles, for your blood pressure, cardiovascular health like lowering atherosclerosis risk, so on and so forth. And so some amount of activity is good. However, when we are talking about being a physique athlete, we want our cardio as low as we can possibly get it in an off season. Reason being, that means we have that much more room to work with, metabolically speaking, in terms of creating a calorie deficit. Now, why is a calorie deficit important? Because we need a deficit in order to, have fat loss. So we use a mixture of the two things, of cardio and of a diet, right? A calorie deficit to facilitate fat loss, which we have to have a very large amount of fat loss. We need to be stage lean, which is a place our body does not want to be. So it's not easy to get to. So the more room we have to work with, the more tools in the toolbox that we have to use, the better of a place we are in terms of our chances of getting stage lean, not hitting as many plateaus, and having room to work with and tools to work with to get through those plateaus. Now, There are definitely some other things that we can do, switching out HIIT for steady state, switching out steady state for HIIT, utilizing a diet break, refeeds, double refeeds. So we have a lot of options in terms of how to get through those plateaus when we can't just power through them as well. However, fat loss it's a simple equation. We have to burn more than we bring in. And so I think what we tend to get into is we like certain aspects of training. Some people really like running. Some people really like running for distance. And some people, like training and strength. And so I think that if you're looking at getting into being a physique athlete, it's very important that we understand the realism of what we have to give up to do that. So if you're a strength athlete and you like being strong, you're going to have to get weaker. Now, it doesn't mean that you're going to get weak, but strength is relative, right? And so as you can see, I'm still training reasonably heavy. If you follow me on Instagram or social media, I'm still training heavy. But this heavy is not heavy, right? Like, I've deadlifted 600 pounds. I haven't been able to train at anywhere near the intensity I should be able to with that kind of maximal strength lately. It's the same with squats and bench. They've all gone down a bit, right? So that's difficult for me as a strength athlete and somebody who likes competitively powerlifting. And so I think that that's something that you can get caught up looking at. The other end of the spectrum is I'm definitely about 10 pounds over where I thought I would be in stage weight, right? So the powerlifting in my off season has most certainly helped me in terms of putting on good muscle mass. And I believe that the intensity during my training and period of dieting has definitely helped me to retain a lot of that muscle mass. So I think the real deal is you have to decide what's most important to you, right? Because it's not about me telling you what's important or what you should and shouldn't do. It's really about you making the right decision for your life, your lifestyle, your enjoyment, your happiness, and what you feel is going to bring you the most fulfillment. And so it's important that we recognize if we like cross-country running or we like long-distance running, whatever it might be, and we enjoy running 10, 12 hours a week, being a physique athlete is going to mean giving that up. So you have to decide if you enjoy that running more or if you're going to enjoy that being a physique athlete more. And sometimes going through the process shows you that you don't enjoy it more, and that's okay too. But we want to have very realistic ideals and goals and a realistic understanding of the process before we get into it. So hopefully this sheds a little bit of light on the subject for you. Hopefully it gives you a better idea of kind of where you want to be in order to start a successful prep. And then maybe for some of you, hopefully it shows you that maybe being a straight physique athlete isn't for you. You don't want to get on stage. Or that, maybe you want to have a good physique but never take it to that next level. So that's going to be it today, guys. I hope it helps out. Anyways, I will see you soon. Have a great one.